Hi everybody, here I am again with Oracle VM. This time we will try to see how we can how we can install a new manager in the case we lost the manager that we have. From the previous video you may already know that I use VirtualBox to simulate the OVM environment. It's kind of funny because we are using a virtualization tool to run another virtualization tool. Okay, that's the good. So here I have the my cluster of OVM running. It's the OVM 3.4 pool with 2 servers. Inside we have 2 virtual machines already up and running. We can see them here. This is a simple top session that I use for watching the activity of the machines. I think it's enough. Both VM1 and VM2 are up and running. Here we have the current manager. We can see here that we are running the version 3.4.2. It's the same one on the servers. And now let's do the worst thing that can happen. We will destroy the manager. So this is the VirtualBox machine running the OVM Manager. I will just destroy it. At this moment it's only shutting down. We can see that we have no more activity here. One of the things, or the most important things that we need to have in order to install a new manager, they are for sure the hostname, the IP addresses, or IP address, I have 2 in my case, and the server pool UUID for the installation of the new version. Without these 3, it's not possible to install a new OVM manager from scratch and manage the current or the server pool that you need to have. So what I will do for that, I will clone a standard fresh new install Oracle Linux 7, and while we wait for some activity here, I will clone this machine here. I will call it just for OVM Manager new. Okay. Can wait just a few moments. Meanwhile, we see that the web page of the manager, it's not running anymore because we shut it down. Probably it would be, or if I already performed the clone of the standard Linux, it would be better that time. That way the video will not be so long, but I prefer to do it this way, just to be sure, and when you guys watch this can really get the real thing. So I'm not trying to do or to do some kind of shortcut on the video. Usually that kind of things, at least I'm talking about what I think. When I see a shortened video of an operation, usually I tend to don't believe at all how the things were done. So that's why I prefer to do this way. Okay, I already have the new virtual machine to install the new version of Manager, but before starting up I will change some things that I know that I have on the old Manager. First of all, we need to put at least 2 megabytes of RAM, and to put here 2 CPUs. Not that the Manager don't run on one, but the install process checks for that, and in order to avoid errors on installation, I know that these ones are the minimum requirements for that. So also, as I said from the beginning, my old Manager has two network interface configured, and at this moment in the adapter 1 I assume that I don't have the network connected, not before changing the hostname and the IP address. Okay, so once this is done, let's start a new machine. This is somehow quick. Okay, as you can see, this is the standard name that I have for this kind of template on VirtualBox. So first thing, rename the host name for the name of the old Manager. And it was OVM34 OVMM. Okay, so now I have to change the interface. This is the only one. On the old Manager, the IP address was this one here. Okay, since I need to have two interface on this new machine, I already have sorry, it wasn't this one here. This is the first interface that I already changed for the new IP address, and this is the new one. It's not yet configured. I will configure it on the next after the next reboot, or the reboot that I am performing right now. Okay, meanwhile I can open a console session for this. Okay, now that we already changed the hostname and the IP address on the new VM for replacing the old Manager, okay, let's connect interface. And now, as you can see, the SSH it's complaining because the host was changed. Okay, this is not a problem at all. So this is because the VirtualBox consoles does not allow us to copy paste, and this is very useful for this kind of operation. So let's change for here. We need this one here, so let's clone the as how I should. Okay. the address configured to IP address. This is the main one. This is the private network for the cluster, but we don't have anything yet here. So let's mount the new manager, most recent version, as I told you on the beginning. The version that we saw on the old manager, it was 3.4.2, and I will install with 3.4.5. Okay. So I think most of you guys already know that on a standard first new install of Oracle Linux, there are two things that we need to change. This one here will be a requirement of the manager, of the installation of the manager. Another requirement is to install the ptables service. I don't know why, but I don't have this. Oh. Now we can okay, this is the ISO file for the manager. This is to create the users and groups for the WebLogic. Now, the most important thing that you shouldn't forget at all. We need to have this UUID, and we have lots of ways to see to get this. And on the manager, on the old manager, we have that option to see that. But supposing that we really lost it, we need to get it from one of the OVM servers. So let's do it. Oh. Okay, this is one of the servers, and we have the two virtual machines running already yet. That's what we need to know, because on our production environment we always have machines running. Can't have them to crash, or we can't stop them. So okay, the way it can be watch it here. Okay, this is what we need to know, the whole manager UUID. So we need this to pass the parameter of the installer here. Okay, let's do it. This will take a couple of minutes, more than that. Okay, another thing that we need to know, and I hope you have that, because I also have that, is the OVS agent password from the current cluster. It's always very important to store that information on a document. So okay, as you watched it before. I have changed the IP address to match the old manager, also the host name. It's done. Okay. Now we just need to wait for the installation of the new manager. This can take, I think, about 10 minutes. Just a tip or note, this VirtualBox machine here, it's the old manager, it's powered off, of course. This is the new one. Here are the virtual machine from OVM that keeps running. We hope that they don't crash for any kind of reason, and really hope that the manager, the server pool, don't need any kind of intervention while we are running without a manager. One of the things that I'm not aware of, it's the XM command on the OVS, on the OVM servers. I know that it's possible to do lots of things with the XM command, but I don't know it at all. I know that it exists. It's supposed to do things like starting a server, not a server, starting a virtual machine, stopping, create even. I don't know if it's possible to perform like migrations with the XM command, but in last case, for the ones that really know how to use XM, it's possible to go into XM and use it as a last resource. I will keep using the manager. That's why I need a new one. I think that if we think better, this could be a very simple way to get a fresh and clean installation of OVM Manager, because there are cases that the managers, the servers running or the virtual machines running the manager instance could get somehow dirty. across the time, or even got errors that you can't undo. I can't name one right now, but it's possible that can happen. And instead of trying to upgrade the current manager, why not install a new one? Because if everything or something goes wrong with the new computer or the new machine for the manager, you can always go back to the old one. So for me it make some sense if we do that. Of course, that this installation of new and most recent version of Manager, part of all, it's always a good choice for whatever the reason is to do that. For both lost or totally lost of the old Manager, or for the upgrade for a most recent version, for me it's always better to do it on a new one instead of working on the existing one. Meanwhile, we are waiting for the install process. Probably you are hearing some kind of noise, a part of the not so good sound quality on my environment here. The fans on my computer are spinning at high speed, so they are causing some kind of wind noise here. Maybe it's not captured by my microphone, but I don't get surprised if that happens. Once again, just checking the VMs running. Of course, that you can do another thing. These are the consoles for the OBS, and if you know it, this is the standard console screen. We can see that we have the OBS 1 and OBS 2 servers. The manager, as you can see, we can always see the manager UUID here on the consoles. It's the same, of course. This is the host name once again. This is the IP address, the name of the server pool. Okay, they are clustered, yes, of course. This is the one for the cluster. As you can see, the version of both servers is the same one, 342. Okay. Just funny for me. Uh, um, of course, that's Oracle. Guys knows how to do things, but in my opinion, I don't understand why they went for the WebLogic and also ADF for the manager. I think that a lighter interface would be more practical for all, instead of this WebLogic that in most of cases it's kind of a security problem, because Java and lots of service are always being updated for security reasons, and when we need to have this kind of WebLogic for the manager, it's not so simple, or I think it's really impossible to update as if standard WebLogic were. So on an environment where the security is always a concern, I think in everything, everywhere the security should be a concern, but there are things that we can tolerate. That's why I don't understand why Oracle went for WebLogic for having, after all, a simple interface for managing your cluster. Something based on HTML5 would be much better and interesting to use. Meanwhile, everything looks fine on this cluster. Both virtual machines are up and running. I don't know why I'm saying this, but believe me, on my daily work, I'm always concerned with things that can happen and we can't control, because in fact for the safer you think you are, it's when the things can happen. And the good and bad of virtualization is that it's good in all points of view, but when something goes wrong, everything will go wrong. Because what if a server running important VMs goes down without any kind of warning? So That's why I'm always checking for stability. Okay, finally the installation has finished. We don't need to restart after all these easy notes, of course. We can now try to access the new one. Okay, and here we are on a new and fresh installation of Oracle Virtual Machine Manager. As you can see, we are now on version 3.4.5. This is the manager UUID that we provided during the installation, and we have nothing here. Yeah, okay, simple. Let's discover servers. Once again, very important, never forget agent password that you set up on the servers. My two servers have this IP address 51 and 52. Okay, okay. Now let the manager do the rest. The first good sign, the server pool name, it's the one we expected. Yeah. Of course that the server pool also have the configuration of the cluster. The storage itself, the most important thing, it's the storage. Mainly when you are working with external storage, fiber channel, SCSI, NFS, whatever. Okay, two servers already found inside the server pool. One of the things that we will always have this warning icons here, they are related with the unmatched version between the server and manager. This is usual, so it's not a problem with the cluster nor with the OVM servers. Instead, it's only a warning about the wrong versions. And once again, if for some reason you need to have different versions between the servers and manager, the manager should always be with the most recent version, higher version than the servers. Never do the opposite. I never try it, but for why I read on the Oracle documents for this, for the OVM, it's not advisable to do that, and it's understandable, I think. So the server pool discover, it's already finished. We can see the message here as I mentioned. These warnings are related with server manager version mismatch, as you can see. Okay. At the same time, we can see that, okay, these are the information for the servers. So we have the server pool, fine. They are up and running. Let's see what about, okay, the VM2 and VM1, they keep running. Very good. Now if we change for virtual machines, this kind of orphan name, because during the discover process, I don't know why, everything was discovered correctly. The storage, we have the unmanaged, in my case it's iSCSI array, so we have all the runes from the cluster. On the old manager, I had the correct names in order to identify on the storage side also. We have networking, also two networks created. We have the repositories here. Once again with names rediscovered from the original storage provider, but I know if I do this refresh, it's simple because it will change for the old one. Okay, for the old name and the correct name in this case, which is good because sometimes these kind of names are very useful and helpful. I think I already tried this on the ones, but the refresh don't work the same way as on the repository, so okay, it don't work. As we can see, imagine I schedule storage array, a physical disk or a managed storage array cannot be refreshed. Understandable for me because they are working. Okay, well, now let's go for the servers, and as you can see, the virtual machine names already have the name that we are expecting that they should have. So kind of easy installing a new version of Manager and, let's say, grab the existing server pool without any problem at all. At least I don't see any problems here. So you can use the health tab to check for, I don't know, things that you usually do. Nothing special. I believe that here we don't have anything wrong or any kind of warning. Now I think we can do it wasn't this screen here, sorry. Let's go for here and let's see what happens if we try to stop this VM. We should see some kind of, okay, console was shut down. That's the normal behavior. Let's do the same for this one here. Okay. Done. Just wondering, let me try to refresh again this one here. The refresh option, I think it's a way to get try to get the name that you define on the beginning. is not important at all, but of course that we can rename. For example, this one here, it's for, I think it's the one that ends in C7A. Let's see if this is true. Yeah, C7A, as you can see. So I know that this one here is the OVM, or let's say OVM cluster. I hope this works. Okay, fine. So the refresh don't work, but at least you can rename it. You can rename them. Okay. I think it's all for today. One last test. Let's start the VM. Suppose that manager was able to shut it down, but it's not able to start it. Fine. Not ready yet. Okay, as you can see. So here we are with the new version of Manager from scratch, without having the old one for any kind of thing. Okay guys, let's wait for the next video. Thank you for watching.